Okay, welcome back to another workout vlog. This is workout vlog number 5. This is our second chest and back night of the week. So, feeling a little tired tonight actually, and this I think is a good topic to bring up. So, I like it when the guys are like, beast mode, hardcore, every day's grind day, like I'm hardcore, and they're in there screaming and yelling and throwing weights around and banging and slamming and just whipping stuff all over the place. And don't get me wrong, I love those guys and I love those nights whenever I have that kind of energy. But yelling beast mode and screaming and hooting and hollering when you have energy and you're fired up, that's not beast mode. That's just you with a lot of energy and a great mood, right? The nights that it's beast mode, the nights that it's hardcore, and I mean hardcore, are the nights that you're tired, you're worn out, you're sore, you're exhausted, you're sleepy, you want to be anywhere but the gym, and everything feels heavy, including the weight of your own arms, but you still get in there, you give it 100%, you don't slow down, you don't sandbag it, and you push with everything you have that night. That's hardcore. Those are the guys that make the most results. The other guys that make a big show and spectacle of it, the second they feel that extreme exhaustion or fatigue, well, I got to listen to my body and I got to deload a week. Why did you need to deload a week? Why don't you take a day or two off and then come back and just see how you feel after a day or two? Don't get me wrong. Rest is important. Recovery is important. If you're not resting enough or if you're not recovering enough from your workouts, absolutely you need more rest. But I think that's just a product of a poor diet. If you have to rest like every 3 weeks of training, like if you work for 3 weeks of lifting and then you have to take a week off every 3 weeks, that's just poor dieting, and your diet is not matching your training. So when people are going around saying like, oh, hardcore, man, because this, that, or the other, like, no, the days that make you hardcore are the days that you really just are worn to the ground and you have nothing in you, nothing at all. But you just suck it up, you get in there, and you do your freaking work, and you get it in. Those are the hardcore days.
I agree. Like you've been talking about tonight or whatever, that you kind of felt a little sluggish and stuff, but you kind of grinded through it. And I haven't really had one of those nights yet, but again, this is your second 12-week session, so like you've been doing this a good bit longer than I have so far. And I'm sure like I'm going to get to that point. I haven't quite got there yet. I'm still kind of maintaining a pretty level energy in the gym right now. But yeah, like for sure, like it's going to come to that point, and like you're saying, it's that point that kind of separates the people that are going to continue progressing and the ones that are just going to kind of stay more or less where they're at and not really push themselves as far as they could in the long run of things.
Yeah, and the thing too, it's like whenever you get this tired from working out, like I said, a lot of people want to scream deload or overtraining or you need rest. But the truth of the matter is whenever you're in a deficit and your calories are low and your workout intensity is up and you're pushing out more energy than your body has, you're going to feel tired. If you're in a 200 calorie deficit and you're doing about 150 calories worth of cardio, you're in a 350, 300, 400, 500, whatever your deficit is, of negative energy. That's just the nature of the beast. You're going to get to the point where you start to feel tired, exhausted, worn out, beat up, no motivation, nothing. But that's when willpower comes in, and then determination to continue to proceed forward with your training and your program and stick to the plan. And those are the days that make you hardcore. The days that you just feel like you're 1,000 pounds and there's nothing you can do, no matter how much coffee, pre-workout, no matter what you take or do, the energy is just not going to be there. And the best thing you could do is try to call it an early night, get your last meal in early, try to get to bed 2-3 hours early if you can and get some extra sleep. And that's going to be the number one thing you could do to possibly help correct that feeling of like low energy and everything. But even that sometimes just honestly isn't enough.
I agree. But like recently with the training and stuff, I've even gotten into a lot better habit of like getting to bed earlier. Like, because at the end of the night, I am feeling a bit more worn out after the workout and the meals and everything. So it is kind of nice having a bit more of a steady, like bedtime, I guess you could call it. uh, rather than being up till midnight or sometimes a little bit later, around like 10:30. I'm pretty much like, yeah, like, I'm done.
Yeah, exactly. And like I try to get around 8 hours of sleep a night. I go to bed at 10. I get up roughly around 6. So I try to get at least 8 hours of sleep a night. And if I get less than that, I can really feel it. It really makes a big difference in your recovery. And if you want to train with maximum effort and intensity or whatever it is, like you can't not get sleep. Like if you don't get enough sleep, you're going to feel it. It's going to catch up to you eventually. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow. You might be able to push 3 weeks like that, but eventually your stimulants, your pre-workout, your caffeine, it's going to stop working, and you're going to be worn out. And also, I just want to say something to you guys. This is our personal opinion. These are our personal experiences. This is my personal experience. Everything I talk about on this channel, for me helping people, and I've helped a lot of people lose a lot of weight, get bigger, get stronger, reach their goals. So seeing it firsthand and helping hundreds of people without ever taking a single dollar for it, and seeing the habits and seeing the patterns and seeing how people fell and where they fell and where they succeed at. I'm speaking from personal experience of what I've seen and what I've helped others do and my own personal experience. So the one thing I can give anybody, if there's one thing I give to everybody, is a piece of advice. Just because you hear a new information from somebody else, do not disregard every single thing you have come to learn. If what you're doing is working, keep doing it. If something sounds like it makes sense or it's more logical to you, don't disregard everything that you've learned up to this point. Maybe apply one or two of those things to your training where you can fit it in, or replace something that you're kind of questionable about anyways with one of those things, and then see how it works for you. And then you can slowly start kind of adapting those principles or those ideas, and maybe they'll work for you, maybe they won't. But I see a lot of guys that hear something from somebody else and they disregard everything they've ever learned and what's been working for them to jump on this new thing, and then they just crash and burn. And it's sad to see them give up or disregard everything that they've experienced. And your best gauge of success is your own personal experience.
Absolutely. Like, I learned throughout the times of us working out together that there is times where I have more energy, less energy, and I just got to figure out how to kind of maintain that middle ground, which again, it's with me maintaining the diet better, like not going and eating fast food secretly and stuff like that. And when I start doing that, you end up noticing and things like that, and I try to hide it.
But it works though. Scale does, and I tell everybody that people lie, but the scale doesn't. The scale is never going to lie. It's going to tell you what it is.
But yeah, like, and then with the sleep and stuff, like trying to get that in order and getting like a decent night's rest every night. And it does get easier as we go on. And the longer the training goes, like for me, the easier staying in that routine of things becomes. And it helps me feel better in the long run of things. Like, and I appreciate like the new information that I figure out and learn about myself each time we do this or whatever. And then like for this 12 weeks, I'll figure out some new things, and then I'll apply some of that to swap out, like you're saying, with things that might not have been working on this 12 weeks. Next 12 weeks, I'll kind of manipulate things around and see how much further I can push myself.
Yeah, and again, this is personal experience, but a lot of people they say you have to enjoy yourself and you should allow cheat meals or pick foods that you enjoy eating, but calorie count or if it fits your macros. And like I said to everybody, the diet that's going to work the best for you is the one that you stick to, bottom line. But for me, I like being on a strict diet, weighing everything out. I know it's tedious, but it makes me appreciate my food more. It makes me want to eat it more because all the work that goes into making my food. But the main thing for me is if I don't plan cheat meals, I don't schedule cheat meals, I don't think about cheat meals, and it makes it easier for me to stick to my diet, and it keeps me on track with my nutrition. It's whenever I start thinking about food and allowing myself to have food I'm not supposed to have, that makes it difficult for me because I start thinking about the day to come, and it makes the day that I'm on way more difficult to focus on what I have to do when I'm just thinking about the next thing or the next cheat meal or pleasure for my taste buds. And I just don't like letting my taste buds control me and be in control of what I'm doing and what I'm doing and who I'm doing with what and where, and like going out to eat in restaurants and everything else,
Yeah, I don't like you're saying, I don't want to like plan a cheat meal and things like that. or have something like one that I'm just like focused on trying to get to, because it does make it harder to go back to the more basic meals, I guess, if you want to look at it like that, you're doing throughout the rest of the week. But it, like, again, like, you got to figure out, like you're saying, what works for you, what's going to keep you on that track. So like you try to plan it out as best you can without going overboard, really. But as far as it goes for myself, like, I'm doing well with where I'm at. I did increase my food a little bit recently because I was starting to get a little bit of like a hunger pain from being a little bit too far of a deficit. So I've kind of bumped up a little bit. So I'm evening that out some. But I think overall, like, I'm doing fairly well without really having any major cravings. I mean, I watch a lot of YouTube videos and see like food stuff on there. But again, like, outside of one day I had like a random craving for some pizza, like, I haven't really seen, or like, there's nothing really that's popping into my head of like, I need this, because I went so long eating all that even at that point in time, I just was kind of over all of the options that I was really exhausting in our area.
Yeah, no, I get that. I've experienced that too. Whenever you eat so much of the same thing for so long, eventually it just kind of loses its lust and its lure for you and everything. So I think that's going to be it for me on this one. In fact, actually, I think this is a good spot to leave off, because tomorrow we can actually pick up and talk more about diet and go into depth about diets and where I think people mess up and fail. And I think that would be a good topic. And again, it's all just personal experience and what I've seen from helping people like hand in hand, and the people that are successful versus the people that are not successful. So we'll pick up there tomorrow. And I think that's it for me today. Is there anything else you want to add to it?
No, sounds good.
All right, guys, just remember, I like to leave off with this little positive note. Remember, there's a lot of negative people out there and a lot of negativity. And any opportunity you can find, joy, take it, grab it, hold on to it for as long as you can. And don't let a negative person steal your thunder and bring you down. If you have negative people in your life or around you, the best thing you can do for yourself is get rid of them and get them out of your life, because they're only holding you back if everything they say and do is negative. And just remember, when you're in the gym, when you're training, if there is no agony, there is no bragging. You got to stick to it every day, guys. But thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.
Yeah, later.